bad, tough situations. My next relationship.
So, Stephen, tell us a little bit about what you do. It sounds like you have an incredible career.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot on the plate. I'm an athlete. I guess, entrepreneur, I work, philanthropist, just recently published my first book. So there's a lot on the plate, and I'm really excited for the things to come, especially for next year. I know it's funny to say that, in the current climate that we're in, but, it's been a very productive past 6-7 months for me. So, it's unfolded a lot of things that have kind of grown and being able to bring the platforms alive. So I'm really excited about it.
Nice. Good for you. And tell us about this book of yours.
Yeah, so the book is called The Good Morning Superstar, and it's a 90-day book. I took a very simplistic approach to it. Every day is a different chapter. There's a quote in it. There's a parable that's written by me, how I particularly use that quote or how it affected me on that particular day. And then there's 2 questions that follow up with that, an empowering question and then also a take action question, because I'm a big believer in that the better questions we ask ourselves, the better results we get. So it's really about setting the tone for your day, putting yourself in the right mind frame. And, the best time of the day is to do it as, your first 20 minutes in the morning. It's most absorbent when you're really shaping and molding your mind. But
see, my dogs agree with you. Sorry.
Yeah, I hear that. But the exciting part is that all the proceeds are being given to foster families and aging out youth for a sustainable holiday. So really important to me.
Jeez, I like that. And what inspired you initially to write the book?
I've had it, kind of building for a while, but, I really wanted to, just add another piece, and I've been writing for a bit, but, kind of nonchalantly for myself, and just wanted to put something out there that was, beneficial and that people can do and people can bring into their lives without taking away, because, you have to really cut out the time of your day to really sit down and kind of, just really read a book or get some information in you. And I think, with the busy schedules that we all have, we're looking for simple, easy, fast, but, effective. And that's kind of the route I went with it. But overall, it's been, I just wanted to have something. I purposely published it for November and launched it for November because November is World Adoption Month. And so it's a direct correlation with my backstory, where I've come from, but also kind of really making an impact in that space.
And you said the book is for 90 days. Are you going to do a sequel to it for the next 90 days and so on?
I don't know if I'm going to do a sequel to this book, but I definitely have a book that would complement it, but it would be a children's book, a children's version of it. So the aspect is to have kind of, this would be the grown-up version and then have a children's version, and the family can do it together, so that it kind of builds relationship, it builds rapport, but also, it gives the families to do something as a whole, and then instead of having separate aspects of things. So I think that's very important, to unify the house and unify the home and have that one voice.
Especially in this day and age with everything going on in the world, I think that families are coming closer together, and I think this is going to give it a little something extra.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, I totally agree. It's very much needed right now.
And you said you're working on some other stuff. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the next things that are coming out, which has been on the back burner for quite a while, but that's really accelerated and been built. So my nonprofit organization is going to be launching at the end of January, beginning of February. It's called Fostering Success. It's all within reformation, within the foster care and adoption space, being directly correlated with decision makers, impacting bills, decisions, making a more streamlined process, providing resources for foster families, adoption families, and also the kids that are transitioning from foster care into adoption. So programs like social emotional programs and leadership programs. So there's a whole gamut of things that are being built out, but ultimately having a co-living situation built. We want to build a kind of not really a foster home, but really a co-living foster home where there's several different foster families living within one community, so it's sustainable. They can lean on each other for resources, and also the kids kind of are really building that foundation in what family is actually, the meaning of family for them, because coming from foster care, that word family is a very unfamiliar word. And so hopefully this setting will put them in a space where their transition from foster care to adoption is that much more seamless for them.
Wow, that is incredible. Now, what made you decide to do this, specifically focus on adoption and foster families?
Oh, well, I mean, that just goes back to my story. And
Okay.
I was in foster care. I was put in foster care at 4 months, and then put back into my mother's hands for a short period of time. My brother was born, and then we were living in and out of motel rooms, and we were severely neglected and not provided for, and being highly abused by her boyfriend at the time. And so our next best option was to be put back into foster care, and we were in foster care for another 6 years after that, bounced up and down around the East Coast, and were blessed enough to be adopted by two great individuals. My mother was a school teacher. My father was ex-Marine, and then worked for Merrill Lynch and New York Stock Exchange, and they exposed us to so many things like art and music and education and sports, and just broadened our horizons and opened up a doors to a new life in which, really wasn't, it was really our second chance at life, because where we were coming from, it was just a lost cause. And we were just really fighting for a place and a place to belong. Unfortunately, our time with them was short-lived. We wound up losing my mother to bone marrow cancer, and then also wound up losing my father to an irreversible coma, only about 3.5 years in part of both of them. So it's been a roller coaster of a ride, but they've definitely left their impact on us, and left a great impression on me, and what I need to do and what I stand for and my values are. And so that's, a big piece of the foundation in what I do, and what I'm doing and what I plan to do, and make an impact within this space.
Well, thank you for all you do. You're such a strong gentleman, and I can tell you have so much love in your heart. So thank you for all you do.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So now I want to move on to a happier topic. We're into holiday time. What are some of your favorite holiday traditions?
Well, Christmas is always been a very big staple in my family. It was my father's favorite time of year. Some of my fondest memories were our first Christmases. Unfortunately, I'm on the West Coast, and all my family is back on the East Coast, so I probably won't see them, unfortunately, due to a lot of other things that are on the plate right now, and my own training as an athlete, and then also, building out this foundation and things like that. So it may be a low key, Christmas this year, but nevertheless, it's always a fun time of the year. I'm going to be doing an event where me and another organization are partnering, and we're going to be dropping off about 100 and 150 bags of toys to the Empowerment Center in Watts, which is a low-income community center. So we'll be going down there on the 19th. So I'm really looking forward to that, and just bringing some smiles to some other kids that, really need it this time of year, especially this year, and helping some families out, and knowing that, that they're not forgotten.
Wow. Like I said, you're just a wonderful man. So I'm just so blown away by you right now. I try not to cry after you told me that story.
I know. I appreciate it. It's definitely been it's definitely been a work in progress, for myself, and working through a lot of things, and, making sure that I'm prepared before I work with, these kids and these parents and men and everything else. Cause I really feel that, if my wounds and everything else that I've gone through aren't healed and aren't prepared, then I'm not in a position to really help them fully and wholly and wholeheartedly. So
Well, you have a friend in me, so if you ever need anything, you let me know, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you. I will.
Yeah, and one thing I like to ask the people I interview is, tell me a fun fact about yourself that might surprise people.
So fun fact. So I played saxophone for about 5 or 6 years, and I was in a jazz band, and I played in the marching band while I was playing football in high school. So that was a very awkward situation where the football team, I was, I played varsity all the way through, and one of the sports I excelled at. But when the football team went in at halftime, I would have to stay out in my football gear and march in the marching band on the halftime show. So it was definitely not an experience that I particularly enjoyed, but it was kind of the partnership and the deal I made with my mother at the time, because she always said that, well, okay, well, if you want to play football, then I want you to also do this as well. She was very strong and very bold, and always wanted us very well rounded. We didn't agree on everything, but that's parents and child. That's how it goes.
Nice. You still play, or?
I don't play football anymore. I'm actually currently, I still run track and field. So I run track and field professionally. So I'm with my coaches about 20 hours a week right now. And, amongst everything else. So I had training this morning and rushed home to get here. So
That's incredible. Now, tell me a little bit about your athletic career. You said you don't play football anymore, but you run. So tell me a little bit more about your athletic career.
yeah, so my track and field career has been pretty vast. I've been able and blessed enough to have the capability to be surrounded by some of the best coaches in the world, and also run in some of the most prestigious races around the world, whether it be international, whether it be local, Olympic trial wise. So yeah, it's been a long career, and it's kind of rounding out to that point where I'm going to be making a decision. This will be my last go for at the next Olympic Games, and then maybe move on to a different sport. I did so many sports in the past: martial arts, football. Those were my kind of two top sports besides track and field. But yeah, I've been very lucky to be exposed to a great sport that has transitioned me. A lot of the things that I do on the track very much correlate with things that I do in life, and also within business and things like that. So it's been a great sport.
I'm happy for you. You seem to just do it all. So I think that's just, wow. I have no words. I want my future sons to be like you.
I appreciate that. I'm sure they'll be great.
I just for a TV site as well. What are you watching on TV these days?
I am not watching much on TV these days. If I do watch anything, it's a movie. I'll watch a movie here and there, but I'm not a big TV guy. I really I try to utilize my time as much as possible working on the things that I have. So, and then the other half of the time is spent on recovery from training, and, trying to get my nutrition together, and then, any other recovery aspects on my body, and, sleeping. And so there's a lot on the plate. So there's not much time for TV, which is funny because I have two big TVs in my place. So, but they barely get used. So, yeah, TV's not a big thing for me. It never has been. It's mostly working on brand stuff, and trying to just really push the needle in the areas in which I'm trying to build out right now.
And since you mentioned nutrition, what is a typical meal for you in a day? A typical 3-meal day for you?
It depends on the training day for me and the volume for that day. So, typically, like, so today, I don't eat a whole lot before I go to train. I'll probably have a high calorie shake that I put together, something that's easy and something that'll digest quickly and get into my bloodstream. And then I'll have some fruit with that, and maybe some type of grain bar or a granola bar or something like that, so that those oats and stuff are long lasting throughout my session, so they burn slowly. And then throughout the day after that, I'll refill a bit and have a bunch of carbs and high protein meals. And then as the day goes on, towards the end of the day, I'll probably pull back on some of the carbohydrates and move towards kind of like the fats and the greens, and like a fish dish or something like that. But it varies. There's not one particular way of dieting, for myself. It's kind of ebbs and flows of things, and trying to figure out where I am and my body at that particular point. So it's a mesh of a couple of different diet protocols.
And what's your favorite treat food?
My favorite.
I don't like saying cheat. I like saying treat.
Yeah. I'm a big marshmallow guy. I love marshmallows. So, and if anybody knows, anybody that knows me very personally, they know that marshmallows is my go-to. That and anything with sprinkles on it. So yeah, marshmallow pretty much rules my palate at that in that particular area for treats, and which I haven't been dabbling in that much lately. I've been trying to keep it as clean as possible, and trying to keep things together.
Well, one day you're going to have to come to Pittsburgh, and I'll make you a chocolate marshmallow candy.
Oh, there you go. That sounds
And I make
good.
good sprinkle cookies too. So Great. And where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, you can find me anywhere. So my Instagram is stevieb.com. Stevey B. So it's STEVIEY_B. That's also my website, stevieb.com. All my socials on there. My projects are on there. Fostering Success is on Instagram as well. And the book can be bought anywhere you buy your books. Amazon, obviously everybody, loves to use Amazon, but, you can go out and buy it on Amazon, and it's a great stocking stuffer for everybody right now. It's had a big push behind it. A lot of people love it, but they love the aspect in which, where it's going to impact. And that's very important to me. So, if you love the book, go leave a comment, go leave a review on it. That would be greatly appreciated. It just helps out the cause and everything else that's happening. But
Wonderful. I'll make sure people buy it, and I'll add it to my list as well. I gave Amazon way too much money during this pandemic. Too much.
I'm sure everybody has.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate you, and have a safe, happy holiday season.
Excellent. You too. I appreciate your platform, and thank you for having me.
No problem. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.